Great teachers don't just teach, they inspire, guide, and shape futures. But what happens when teachers aren't given the tools or support that they really need? Students will feel the impact first. Today, we are here to talk about the real causes behind teacher quality issues, how it affects students, and what we can do to change the story for teachers and also the students. So good day, everyone. Thank you for joining today's panel discussion on teacher quality and training in secondary education, causes and effects of teachers' quality on students' performances. This topic is vital because teacher quality remains one of the strongest predictors of student success. Firstly, let me introduce myself. My name is Dean, and I will be moderating our panel discussion for today. And I would say we are very honored to have four of our incredible panelists from diverse backgrounds. The first one would be Miss Shakira, a pre-service teacher who will share the challenges of teacher training. Miss Bedeline, principal of our local school, to discuss the reasons behind the drop in teacher quality. The third would be Miss Dania, the school student representatives, to speak on the effects they feel as learners. And last but not least, Ms. Fatih, a representative from Ministry of Education, KPM, will bring us the solutions and policy perspectives. So let's begin. Let's talk. Let's start by identifying the roadblocks. Ms. Shakira, as a pre-service teacher yourself, could you walk us through the major challenges you and your peers face in becoming high quality educators?
Currently, I'm working as elementary school teachers, and I've been a teacher for the past few years. There's quite few challenges in improving teacher quality and training. So, firstly, it is the budget constraints. We are on budget constraints on providing necessary support for teacher training systems as the distribution of resources often overlooks the specific needs for teacher training programs. So, according to Malay Mail, in 2024, the Ministry of Education (MOE) has received 58.7 billion ringgit, yet only a small fraction of it is dedicated to the teacher professional development. However, in 2025, which is this year, the allocation for in-service teacher training has increased to 19.6 million ringgit, which when distributed among over 400,000 teachers is only equates to approximately RM 47 ringgit per teacher, which is not enough because as teachers need to use a lot of teaching aids and instructional materials in order to keep our students engaged and motivated in class. But I also understand as teachers because there is also competing priorities within other needs too, such as the education budget encompasses various priorities, including the infrastructure developments, student welfare programs, and scholarships. So as a result, teacher training can often compete for limited resources, leading to insufficient fundings for comprehensive professional developments. So secondly, we are also lacking of institutional capacity in implementing, support, and monitor teacher training. This is because most of the syllabus used in teacher education institute such as IPGs in Malaysia operate with limited budgets, outdated curricula, and insufficient access to modern pedagogical research, according to Hua Yuyi. So, lecturers and trainers of teachers may lack of exposure to current classroom realities, which is the rise of technologies and competency-based teaching. So, other than that, Malaysia is also shortage of qualified teacher due to limited career growth and progression offered by the educational institution and governments. There is also shortage of qualified teachers and trainers, because many training programs rely on facilitators who lack classroom experience, and it reduces the relevancy of practicing teachers. And lastly, I would say the cultural and attitudinal barriers among teachers. So it is quite norms in the educational field in Malaysia about seniority over competency culture. So, according to Teachers Training Malaysia, seniority often outweighs performance in promotions, decision making, and leadership roles. This can lead to resistance to feedback, inspected by attempts to upskill them, especially if it is handled insensitively. So, this will create an injustice to teachers with potential due to the selectivisms. And also there is also a legacy of hierarchical administrations lead to a system where teachers are often expected to follow instructions rather than innovate. So these challenges are actually interconnected and reinforced with each other, making it's a bit difficult and tough to raise teacher quality and improve training systematically. However, it requires a lot of political commitment and sustainability financing for continuous systemic reform. That's all from me.
Okay. Thank you for the insight. But Miss Shakira, you mentioned
Yes.
cultural and attitudinal barriers. Do you think these stem from lack of motivation or more from systemic neglect?
Mm, in my perspective as a teacher, these barriers are more often rooted in systemic neglect, with lack of motivation being a symptom rather than a root cause. This is because lack of support. If a system don't provide the necessary support or resources or financial backing, is that they are worn down or never given the tool to sustain the effort. So we need to tackle the barriers effectively requires addressing the system and structures that create and reinforce inequality in the system, not just trying to motivate people within a broken framework. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, Miss Shakira. It's important for us to recognize um, the struggles because without the right foundation, even the most passionate future teachers can feel disheartened. So now explore what fuels or worsens these challenges in the first place. For for panel two, Ms. Bellarmine, as a principal, you've seen firsthand what drive teachers' dissatisfaction and underperformance. From your perspective, what are the underlying reasons for this decline in teacher quality?
Well, I'm currently a principal in school. There are reasons why teachers choose to quit school based on the principal reference. Well, teachers often choose to quit because they lack supportive leadership from their principals. According to the slide that I just made, according to Yusuf, teachers are more likely to stay in school where principals show strong leadership, provide support, understand their challenges, and create a positive working environment. Without this supportive leadership, teachers feel isolated, undervalued, and overwhelmed by stress. Not help solve problems, for example, by not giving recognition, not addressing workload issues, or not fostering a positive school culture, teachers will lose trust and motivation to stay. This leadership gap makes them more likely to leave the profession for better conditions elsewhere. So, as a principal, lack of support, poor communication, and failure to create a positive school climate are the major reasons why teachers quit. However, when leadership is weak or unsupportive, teachers often face problems alone, such as no emotional support, teachers who struggle with classroom management, stress, or student issues may feel they have no one to turn to for advice or encouragement. Secondly is poor communication. If principals fail to listen to teachers' concerns or ideas, it makes teachers feel ignored and unimportant. The third one is the no recognition or rewards. Teachers put in a lot of effort, but without appreciation or incentive, they feel their hard work goes unnoticed. Of course, the toxic work environment. Without strong leadership, school can develop negative cultures where there's gossip, blame, or a lack of teamwork. All these factors lowers teachers' morale and job satisfaction. When teachers feel unsupported, especially when combined with other challenges like heavy workload, low pay, or limited career growth, they start looking for other jobs that offer better support and healthier work-life balance. A supportive principal, on the other hand, can help reduce stress, boost motivation, solve problems early, and create a positive work culture where teachers feel they belong and want to stay long term. So, the principal leadership is a deciding factor in whether good teachers stay or leave. That's all from me.
All right, Miss Bedeline, you mentioned poor communication and lack of recognition. How far do you think a simple thank you or structured mentorship system can go in building morale?
In my opinion, a simple thank you or a structured mentorship system can actually make a big difference in building teacher morale. Many teachers feel undervalued when their hard work goes unnoticed, so even a small gesture of appreciation, like a genuine thank you from the principal, can help them feel respected and motivated to keep doing their best. Beyond that, a structured mentorship system goes even further. New or struggling teachers benefit from guidance and advice from experienced colleges. This kind of support builds their confidence, help them solve classroom challenges more easily, and make them feel they are not alone. It also strengthens the sense of community within the school. Together, small act of recognition and a clear support system show teachers that leadership cares about their well-being and professional growth, which can really help reduce burnout, improve job satisfaction, and encourage good teachers to stay longer in the profession. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, Miss Bedeline. It's a very important reminder that leadership matters. Sometimes it's not about huge budget, but small human touches, support, listening, and acknowledgement. When those are absent, the impact can ripple down to students. Now, to our third panelist, Ms. Dania. As the ultimate consumers of the education system, students are directly affected by teacher quality. So, could you tell us from your experience, how has the poor teacher training influenced your learning or motivation?
Thank you. As a student, I have experienced firsthand how teacher quality can strongly influence our learning and overall performance. A good teacher is someone who can make even the most difficult subject easier to understand. This is because they do more than just explain the topic, and they make the lesson more interesting, engaging, and suitable for different learning styles. So when a teacher puts in the effort to connect with students, we feel more motivated to listen, complete our assignments, and even try to do our best in class. Personally, I have had teachers who made me look very forward to their classes. They provided clear notes, used creative teaching methods, and always made sure that the whole class understood the topic before moving on to the next one. Because of their efforts, I was able to perform better in the subject. However, I have also had the opposite experience. There were some times when the lesson felt too rushed and the teacher only read from the slides without taking the time to check if anyone in the class was confused. So this can be a bit frustrating for students because it makes us feel like we are not getting enough support, and as a result, some students eventually lose interest and giving up. I have also seen my friends, who are very capable and smart, struggle just because the way the lesson was taught did not suit their learning style. Some of them are very intelligent and capable, but they struggle because their teacher does not use a method that matches their learning style. So in the end, their results dropped, not because they were not smart, but because the way that they were taught was not effective. That is why when we talk about student performance, we must acknowledge that the major role that teachers plays in our success. Another important point is how teacher quality can also affect our students' emotional well-being. A teacher who is kind, understanding, and approachable can make students feel safe and supported in the classroom. So when we know that our teacher cares about us, it becomes easier to ask questions, share our problems, and stay motivated. On the other hand, if a teacher is too harsh or distant, students may feel nervous, unmotivated, or afraid to speak up. This emotional connection between teachers and students plays a big role in how well we perform and how well we feel about school overall. In addition of that, when teachers believe in their ability to make a difference, they are more likely to try new strategies and keep students engaged. But without the support and belief in themselves, some teachers may lack the confidence to engage students effectively. So this can negatively impact students' motivation and learning outcomes. In my opinion, teacher quality is not only about having a strong knowledge in a subject, but it is also about having the right attitude, good communication skills, and the willingness to keep learning and improving. To conclude, if teachers are given the right support and training, they can help students achieve better results and also make the learning experience more meaningful and enjoyable. So I truly hope that through the so I truly hope that through this discussion, the importance of teacher quality and training will be taken more seriously by those in charge. Teachers play such a big role in shaping students' future, and they deserve more support and opportunities to grow. So I hope the relevant authorities, especially those in educational field, will take action to improve teacher training and professional development. By doing so, we are not only helping teachers become better at what they do, but we are also investing in the success and well-being of students like me. So that concludes my sharing. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak today. Thank you.
I like on how you take on the perspective towards this topic, Miss Dania. Now, for my question would be, if a teacher seems disengaged or underprepared, how does that affect your willingness to participate in class or even believe in your own abilities to learn?
Thank you for the question. I think this is something many students can relate to, and this is also an important issue because students are very affected by how their teachers behave. Personally, I feel less encouraged to participate when I sense that the teacher is not interested in teaching, or when they comes to class looking like disengaged, uninterested, or clearly unprepared. It really changed the whole atmosphere of the classroom. So for me, it makes it harder to stay focused or motivated, and I start to feel like the lesson doesn't matter or that my learning is not really a priority. So it also affects the way we participate. When we feel like the teacher doesn't care, we stop caring too. We might hesitate to ask questions or stop raising our hands, and some of us might even switch off completely. So over the time, this can hurt our confidence and performance. So yes, a teacher's attitude and preparation really influence how we learn and how we see ourselves. That's why teacher quality is so important. That will be all for my response. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Dania, on your sharing and opinion. Now, I think it's very important for every student to know this, that your voice is powerful. When students are demotivated, it's a signal that something in the system needs urgent fixing. But it's not all bleak. So now let's look at what can be done. So Ms. Fatin, as a representative from the ministry, could you tell us from a policy making perspective, what are some practical solutions that the ministry is working on or should consider to improve on teacher quality and training?
Thank you, Sardine, and good evening to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today and be part of such an important discussion. So, after hearing what's been shared just now about how things like burnout, lack of supportive leaderships are affecting our teachers, and how that eventually leads to problem in the classroom, like struggling to manage students or losing touch with effective teaching practice, I think we can all see how serious this issue really is, and we can all agree that teacher quality doesn't decline overnight. And that's why if you want to see real change, we have to start focusing on solution that actually respond to that root problem. So as a representative of the authorities, I would like to share a few solutions that I believe can really help improve teacher quality in a long-term and meaningful way. So the first solution is we need to prioritize continuous professional development. Teaching is not a one-time skill. It isn't a job where you learn everything once and you're done. It's because things change. New teaching methods, new technology, and even students themselves change time to time. So we need to make sure teachers are given regular chances to upgrade their skills, not just a big conference once a year, but ongoing workshops or training and even peer sharing sessions to keep them confident, motivated, and updated. In fact, studies have shown that when teachers engage in continuous professional development that is ongoing and closely tied up to their classroom practice, teacher quality improves significantly. For example, a study by Hadi, Happy, and Rohana in 2021, they highlight that teacher training will provide benefits and make it easier for teachers to do their job, and also help teachers develop their skills in a better way to complete a job. Training or workshop improve the quality of themselves to carry out tasks related to learning process activities, and students will be able to learn if the teachers is good quality. Secondly, I feel that the role of school leadership, particularly principals, cannot be overstated. Sometimes we overlook how much influence they actually have. So, a good principal can make teachers feel supported and appreciated. Things like giving proper motivational training, including regular assessment to identify each teacher's strength and any areas to improve to shape them into a good quality teacher. While principal can even just having a simple reward system like best teachers award. So, according to Madian Mahdayani Mariam and Khairul in 2022, motivational training for teachers is to provide teachers with feedback on various weaknesses in order to improve the future. In order to provide assessment and awards for teachers, the principal does not have to be strict. The pattern of giving assessment and awards to the staff by the leadership will be able to improve staff performance. So I think it really helps when teachers feel like their hard work is noticed and appreciated. That can really boost morale in them and boost their confidence. And at the same time, they will naturally give more to their students. So it directly helps with moral and mental health of teacher. Last but not least, and the solution on how to enhance teacher quality is we need to look at the starting point, which is the teacher training itself. I personally believe that we must strengthen pre-service teacher training by the foundation of teacher quality begins before they even enter a classroom. So by extending the duration of training, give them more real classroom practice, more time to reflect and support to build strong fundamentals. So with this, future teachers can gain more practical exposure, refine their pedagogical skills, and enter the profession with greater confidence and competence. So they will be more ready to face students, works, or even parents of students. As we already know, parents nowadays, and some of parents uh, come to, like to come with questions and opinions. So it's really best for teachers to be ready for it. So when someone starts strong, it really shows in the long run. It means when the foundation is strong, it's easier for teachers to handle challenges later on. So it sets the tone for their whole career as a teacher. In fact, study by Paradama, Shalvi, and Pranay 2023, they highlight that increasing the duration of internship or teaching practice helps people teachers gain confidence and familiarity with classroom situations, contributing of the professional growth and preparedness. So this shows that this method really works in improving teacher quality. At the end of the day, teacher quality isn't just about qualification, it's about how supported, empowered, and prepared they feel to do their job. So, if we can invest in these areas like professional growth, leadership, and strong training, we will be creating a better space not just for teachers, but for students too. So that's my take on it. Thanks for the opportunity. I hope the ideas shared today can spark more change moving forward. Thank you.
All right, Miss Fatin. Thank you so much for your sharing. Now we know that continuous professional development is vital for the change. But my question is, how do we ensure it reaches the rural or underfunded schools?
Great questions. Yes, this issue is very important because continuous professional development plays a huge role in improving teacher quality and student outcomes. However, the real challenge is making sure that teachers in rural or underfunded schools also get the same access to these opportunities. So, to tackle this, we need to make a CPD more inclusive and accessible. Some effective strategies, including offering low data online learning platforms, setting up mobile training units that travel to remote areas, and building strong partnership with NGOs or universities to deliver on-site training. Financial support is also crucial, like providing incentives, subsidies, or travel allowance can help lighten the burden for teachers. In the end, ensuring equal access to CPD means we are not just investing in teachers, but in the future of education itself. No matter where a school is located, and no matter where the teachers are, they can get equal opportunities to grow.
Thank you for your answer, Miss Fatin. And it's good to hear that there's an active push to support both pre-service and in-service teachers, no matter where the school are. Change might not happen overnight, but strategically, long-term investment can lead to sustainable improvement. Now that we have come to the end of our discussion, I would say our discussion today has been an eye-opening. We've seen that the root causes of the poor teacher quality, like a funding, poor leadership, and limited training, are deeply interconnected with student performance. But we've also heard that solution exists, from stronger training, better leadership, to ongoing support. Let's remember that investing in teachers is investing in the future. Thank you to all our panelists for sharing your insights and to the audience for being part of these important conversations. Let's continue to work together to elevate the teachers' profession because great teachers build great nations. Thank you, everyone.